come here. Let's talk about something. So I have a shit ton of debt, and it's not something I'm very proud of. But during my time teaching myself personal finance and financial literacy and the ins and outs of everything, I've come a long way with how my finances are and how much debt I'm in. So I know there's probably people out there that are as stressed as I was and maybe even worse. But I want to talk about how I've been tackling my debts and how we can help each other. Let's talk about it. I'll start with a personal story. A few years ago, I didn't know much. I was very much into my impulse buying, and I did not think this had any effect on my financial well-being at all. I had maxed out credit cards, $2,500 limit reached on my Apple Card, student loans out the wazoo. I still do, but that's a different story. I'm paying them off. And at a certain point, I was getting charged over $100 in just interest. And that's when I realized that there has to be a better way. There has to be some way to get out of this. And that's when I started teaching myself all these things, and it led to where I am today. So I'm kind of grateful for it, but with bad financial habits and impulse buying, I've slowly been creeping my way back into numbers that I don't like seeing. So I've started to tackle it again, and I wanted to document that progress. So let's talk about debt. Not the boring finance bro way or anything like that. Just real talk on how to get out of it when you don't want to be in it. So what works, what doesn't? Let's talk about it. So there's two popular methods in regards to paying off debt, high interest debt specifically. There's the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method, and I'm gonna go into each of those. So the debt snowball method is all about paying off the smallest balances first. This is supposed to give you a motivating win on paying off the card or whatever it is, high interest debt that has the lowest balance. It's supposed to snowball into a motivation. I paid off the smallest one, I can't wait to tackle the next one. That's basically how it works. How you would want to approach this, you want to list your debts and organize them from the smallest to the largest balance. Let's say for me right now, I only have two. My lowest balance is $700 on Apple and my highest $3,000 on PayPal. Yes, I know PayPal, but I got excited to buy YouTube stuff. Leave me out of it. Then you want to start making minimum payments on all of them. Obviously, you have to make minimum payments or else you'll get penalized. But on the one with the smallest one, you want to make extra, more than just the minimum. You want to put any extra money. It can be an extra $1, $2, $3, however much you have and however much you can budget to put extra toward the smallest one, you want to do that. Anything over the minimum will cut your time down on interest and however long it'll take. Usually on your credit card statements, it'll tell you if you pay just the minimum amount, it'll take until 2044 or something like that. It'll cut that time down significantly. Anything you can put extra, do it towards the smallest one for the snowball. Once the smallest debt is cleared, then you want to start taking the total amount that you were paying on the debt with the smallest one and apply it to the next one. So if your smallest debt, for example, was $30 a month minimum payment and you were putting $40 a month, so you were putting $10 extra toward the smallest one and you paid off that, then you want to start putting $40 extra towards the next one. And that's how the snowball grows. You start getting that momentum, you start getting that motivation financially and psychologically, and it helps you tackle smallest to largest in a nice strategic way. Usually, theoretically, you should continue this until all of your debts are paid off. What is the debt avalanche method? This is the one that I personally like just because interest is and it just pisses me off looking at it. But the debt avalanche, it's similar, but in terms of interest. So the debt avalanche method The debt avalanche method is a method in which you focus on paying off the debts with the highest interest first and work your way down. So if you have a credit card with 27% interest, I think my Apple card is 27%, and PayPal I think was 30%. What I'm gonna do when I receive my next paycheck, put all of that money towards, well, all the money that I can towards that 30%, because it is a higher interest. It's just gonna me in the ass eventually, a lot worse than the 27% is. That's the approach that I like, but you do what you want to do. So similar to the snowball, for the avalanche, you want to organize all of your debts, in this case being from highest to the lowest interest rate. In this, you want to make minimum payments on all of your credit cards, of course, because you'll get penalized if you don't. But the one with the highest interest rate, you want to do the same thing. You want to put as much as you can extra towards that. It'll cut down on your interest and you'll cut down on your time to pay it off significantly, similar to the snowball. Again, allocate any extra funds to the debt with the highest interest rate until it is fully paid off. Then, once the highest interest debt is cleared, you can move on to the next highest interest debt and just repeat the process. Paying off debt isn't about grinding your way out of it or giving up your daily coffee or giving up avocado toast or whatever some people will tell you. Sure, that will help by giving you extra money to allocate towards that, but you can have your daily coffee and still budget extra towards that minimum payment. I don't get why people say that. It's just all about having a plan. And I think the Snowball and the Avalanche method are two of my favorite plans that I have personally used in my personal life to clear most of my debts and what I plan to use to get myself out of debt again. So Avalanche is highest interest first, Snowball lowest balance first. You can start small with either method, pay an extra $10, that's one fewer coffee run, that's whatever. As long as you budget it and you have a plan in place, you don't really need to give up anything other than spending more on the credit card. You would want to list all of your debts. You can do it in your notes app, you can do it in an analog notebook, whatever you want. Just list them out. If you can see them, it'll make the plan a lot clearer and it will show you physically. I'm a visual learner, so if I can see it on paper or whatever, I can be like, oh, this is the one that I should tackle, this is the one that I should leave to the end, so on and so forth, and then just pick one, Snowball or Avalanche, and organize your debts and pay them off that way. So at one moment in life, I thought I was killing it, and then surprise, I need new front pads, brake pads, I need new back rotors, my car breaks down. You never really know. If you have too much debt, you can't afford those emergency situations. You can't secure yourself financially. You can't have that cushion if you have those high interest debts just eating away at your bank account. It sucks, I know, but you're not alone. I was there, I got out of it, now I'm back there, and I'm gonna get out of it again. I'm gonna make a follow-up video to this on actually putting that into practice and showing how I approach that with my next paycheck. I get paid monthly. I know it sucks, but I gotta do what I gotta do. In conclusion, the truth, paying off debt is a slow, tedious process. It sucks and it's awkward, but every little bit that you can put towards it helps, especially when you have a plan. So if you're stressing, you're normal. We're all normal. We're conditioned to buy stuff when we see it. We're conditioned for this instant gratification. It's okay. I've given you the steps to create a plan, pick a method, and I hope it helps you. What's the wildest thing debt made you do? Skipped a meal, worked a weird gig, sold old pair of shoes. Let me know your story below. No shame anywhere. Again, we're all the same. And if you want more real talk about money and actually surviving adulthood, hit subscribe. Fuck, that sucks. Whatever. Peace.